Going? Yes, ma'am. Cool. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to the June 8, 2026 regular city commission meeting starting at 6 o'clock. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a couple of announcements this evening. We've got introduction of a couple new staff, Bethany Ballard and Pam Harmon.
All right, good evening. Today I'm introducing Bethany Ballard as the new recreation manager for the city of St. Joseph. In that capacity, Bethany will be the manager of the John and Dee Dee Howard Ice Arena during the winter months. Bethany hails originally from Indianapolis and has had a few stops along the way, most recently Chickaming Open Lands prior to coming here to the city. So we're excited to have her on board and look forward to working with her. Turn it over to Bethany for any comments.
Thank you, Greg, and thank you all for having me tonight. I am a newer resident to the area, but I fell in love with the city of St. Joe well over 10 years ago. And since that time, I've made a lot of really great memories in the city and some specific memories in our park. So I'm excited to help other people now make some of those same memories and for the opportunity to work for the city. So thank you all.
Thank you. Welcome to the team.
I'll be introducing our new Public Safety Administrative Assistant, Pam Harmon. Amber, who's been with us for 7 years, is leaving us to raise her 3 small children. Pam comes to us with extensive experience working for Peter J. Johnson Law Firm, the City of Benton Harbor, Department of Public Safety, and the Berrien County Courthouse. I'd like to welcome Pam to our team.
Hi. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to be here, and I look forward to working for the city and supporting the police department. I'm married to Mike Harmon, retired detective from Benton Harbor for, 12 years now, I think. But thank you.
All right, welcome. I used to work with Mike frequently at the CAC.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to the team.
Oh, big fan though, big fan. I would like to add that Pam and Bethany have been great additions already. I'd also like to add that Amber so far only has 2 kids, but she is working on kicking the 3rd. Just saying, I'm superstitious. I just want it on record.
Okay,
2 and 1 to come.
thank you for that. All right, we're going to move along to the approval of the agenda. What's the pleasure of the commission?
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
All right, Abby, call the roll.
Mayor Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Fernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Sorolla,
Yes.
Commissioner Ulrey,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley.
Yes.
All right, now public comment. For anyone that wants to make any public comment, please come up to the podium over here. Limit your comments to 3 minutes. State your name and address, and it's for items on the consent agenda or items not on our agenda. Come on up.
Good evening. I'm Karen Letts at 2606 Old Lake Shore Road. I just wanted to say that the city property, the Riverside Garden next to Inn at Harbor Shores looks wonderful. It looks like it's completed. Harbor Shores looks like they did a fantastic job on the landscaping. But I was wondering about the sign that was supposed to go up to show that it's public property, since it's the city of St. Joseph. It looks a little bit private, and so it would be great to get that sign up. And I was down there this morning, and usually when I go down there, there's somebody fishing, and sure enough, there was a man and his daughter fishing next to that area, so that was good to see. And they said they got a lot of fishermen down there fishing for catfish. And they said a lot of people go down to that area at noon and maybe even stay in their car just to look at the harbor. So hopefully we make it little more known that it's a public place. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Items include meeting minutes of May 27th, 2026, invoice and tax disbursements, resolution authorizing bank signatures for fiscal year of 27, grievance settlement agreement patrol unit. What is the pleasure of the commission?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Abby, call the roll.
Commissioner Fernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Sorolla,
Yes.
Commissioner Olry,
Yes.
Commissioner Bettany,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes. All right, we have no old business, so we move right on to new business, Court Place Plaza Improvements Professional Services Contract.
Good evening. So back in 2023, the DDA approved funding for the Court Place Plaza Public Space Activation Project in partnership with Cornerstone Alliance. This project utilized $10,000 from the DDA annual budget, as well as $40,000 from their CIP budget, which the commission also approved. This program works with the Patronicity Program, which is kind of complicated, but very simply put, it's a crowdfunding program that raises dollars that are ultimately matched with the MEDC's Public Spaces Community Places Initiative to maximize the project funding. It's kind of a match program. So since that time, the project's gone through, it's been discussed a lot, but it hasn't really moved forward. And recently, city staff, Cornerstone Alliance staff, and representatives from St. Joe Today formed a working group to revisit the project. They want to kind of get it moving forward again. So the group evaluated potential amenities and improvements for the plaza and worked to identify a practical path forward. So in order to get that movement going, we've been working with Cornerstone Alliance to develop a professional services agreement where Cornerstone would serve as both the project manager and the fiduciary agent for the project. And then with that previously approved $50,000 project funding, it would be utilized in that arrangement to be used for the to get the amenities kind of jump started. And then the city would maintain approval authority over the project design elements, as well as the web-based components and other items outlined in the agreement, which you have copies of in your packet. The DDA did review the agreement at its June 1st meeting and voted to recommend approval. So I'm asking for city commission approval of this agreement and allow the project to move forward. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. Any questions from the commission?
No.
No?
I move to approve the professional services contract between the City of St. Joseph and Cornerstone Alliance for the Court Place Plaza improvements.
Support.
Any public comment? All right, Abby, call the roll.
Commissioner Sorolla,
Yes.
Commissioner Olry,
Yes.
Commissioner Bettany,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Fernandez.
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, item number 11, band shell soundboard and system upgrade.
For the last several years, the municipal band has struggled with the current sound system at the John Ian Howard band shell. The sound system component in greatest need of replacement is the soundboard and mixer and the wheeled cabinet that houses it all. The current soundboard is exclusively used outdoor each year from June to September and then stored in the storage lockers at the band shell. This is outdated technology. The purchase of a new mixer necessitates the purchase and installation of new cables and stage box where the microphones are plugged in. The itemized quote listing everything under the subheading consoles and stage box, including cables and hardware and necessary equipment associated with the use of the new digital mixer. We'll also be purchasing 2 new subwoofer speakers. The current ones are over 10 years old and no longer working. The speakers on the roof and staged on the sides of the band shell, those will not be replaced. Those were replaced just a few years ago and are in good working order. As part of this proposal from Sweetwater, they will be doing all the installation and commissioning and training while on site. They expect to have 2 technicians on site for 5 days. 4 of those days will be the installation, and then the last day will be the commissioning, checking the sound, making sure everything works, and then provide the training for city staff. The total purchase price with installation is $22,490.73. This is at a budgeted amount of $30,000 from the band fund. So it is slightly under the original budget for this project. Any questions?
Greg, when I was looking through the proposal, in the quote, they note a labor fee of $4,106, but then in the contract agreement, they have for professional install and integration services, $8,637. Now, the total comes out, and I'm sure that's probably some of the tuning and setup and all those things. I wondered if it might be possible to get from the vendor their labor rate per hour and how many hours they're figuring. And on future quotes, if we could always ask for that. When they have labor just broken out as a lump sum, it's really difficult to have an idea of what that means. It's just a labor number.
So we did ask those questions, finally got some explanation or a detailed explanation from them. So what they're saying is two technicians for 4 days at $65 an hour, based on an 8-hour day. 1 hour of training is included in that number above. Commissioning and tuning is the 5th day. And then a design engineer who was on site prior to all this at $200 an hour. So that's kind of breaks it down. Then they have some additional in their financial summary. There's some travel and mobilization cost. They've got some rental cost, as you said, the tuning and commissioning fee. So they did break it down a little bit further.
Okay.
In addition to the hourly rate.
Okay. Yeah, in the future, if they could put that in the proposal or ask them to, not just them, but any vendor, just so we have a better idea of what we're looking at from a labor standpoint.
Sure.
And then the other thing I noticed in the contract, there are some things that aren't included, talked about. I know there's some stuff that's up on the roof, but it talked about we would have to rent a boom or a lift. Do we have an idea of what our cost is going to be in this?
They are providing the lift.
Okay.
It's part of their labor fee, but it is broken out, so they are providing the lift.
Okay.
But as far as anything additional, we don't believe we'll have to do much. I mean, everything is pretty well existing. It's just them pulling wires out, running new wires in, removing the stage box, securing a new one, making all those connections. If anything significant comes up, we certainly can step in, but based on previous conversations, when their engineer is on site, we don't believe there's gonna be much from our end. They should be able to do everything with their
Okay,
staff.
no, the last question I had was, it talked in here about some of the deterioration of our existing equipment is because of the way we store it. It isn't stored in the proper place, climate controlled, et cetera. Have we made provisions in the future to change that?
So St. Joe Today has been storing it for us. They use it, we'll use some of the equipment on Fridays and Wednesdays. The band uses it on Sundays for their concerts and some of the holidays. So St. Joe Today has been storing it. Some of it actually gets split up. Some of it gets stored at St. Joe Today. Some of it comes to the basement here at City Hall. So we do store it better now.
Okay.
During the week, it may not, just because of, it's used on Wednesdays, it's used on Fridays, it's used on Sundays. So they probably leave it there. It's not easy to move all this equipment, but when we can, we do store it.
Where is it stored in the wintertime?
Same thing, St. Joe Today and City Hall basement.
Great, thanks for the answers, appreciate it.
Yep.
Any other questions, comments? No? All right, what's the pleasure of the commission?
I move to approve the purchase of a new soundboard mixer and sound system upgrades to the John Ian Howard Band Shell by Sweetwater Music in the amount of $22,490.73 and authorize the city manager to execute the appropriate documents on behalf of the city.
Support. Any public comment? All right, Abby, call the roll.
Commissioner Olry,
Yes.
Commissioner Betney,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Fernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Strolla.
Yes.
All right, Greg, I think we got you up there for a little bit. We've got purchase of new water and sewer service truck.
Yes. The commission is being asked to consider the purchase of one new Ford F-550 service truck for the Public Works Department, specifically the Water and Sewer Division. If approved, this purchase is made through our contract with Enterprise Fleet Management. For this, the truck chassis is supplied by the dealer, which in this case is Enterprise that secures it for us. The dump body and associated equipment would be supplied, installed by a truck outfitter. Cost of the Ford F-550 chassis from Enterprise is $74,271. The outfitting for the truck will be done by Meyer Truck Equipment, and they will install a 11-foot Knapheide service body with storage drawers, compartments, crane, compressor, generator, all the things that we ask for per our specifications for an amount of $80,198. For a total purchase price of $154,469. This truck is kind of the first line that goes out. So when we have a water leak or we even have a sewer issue, that truck is responding in addition to, maybe our Vector truck and an excavator, because all of the tools, all of the equipment that we use is on there. We have the crane to lift, pumps out of lift stations, to lift manhole covers, to pull stuff out of the hole. We use all the equipment on there on most of our repairs. So it's a frontline vehicle for us, and it's usually on site running because it has to run in order to power all that equipment. So this purchase will replace a similar 2017 F-450 that is 62,380 miles, which will be auctioned after the new truck is delivered. Should be noted the engine has over 3,000 hours on it, pushing the runtime hours to an equivalent of more than 100,000 miles. The overall condition of the truck is good. That said, in the last 3 years, we've had to make significant repairs to the body and chassis of the vehicle. Should also be noted the equipment box of the truck was replaced under warranty by the manufacturer a year after purchase due to failed welds. And again, we're seeing failures in the welds again. This purchase is included as part of the motor pool budget of $152,500. The price difference is a result of different manufacturer. Originally, we were looking at a Chevrolet of similar size and higher than expected price increase between a 26 model year and a 27 model year. We're bringing this forward now to secure the pricing due to a volatile truck market and expected 6-month lead time on the delivery of the vehicle. Any questions?
Both on this item and the next one, it talks about the significant difference between the run hours and the mileage. And I'm assuming the run hours are for all the equipment that runs off the engine. Do they ever do a situation with these things where there's a separate engine mounted on the vehicle, just so you don't tie the engine of the vehicle to those run hours? Does it make sense? I mean, because we're aging out this equipment a lot faster because of the runtime.
Right.
I'm just wondering if that's something that's ever an option.
There are on some of our larger pieces of equipment, they have a separate, what do they call it, like a caddy engine or pony engine.
Mhm.
But in this case, now the generator is separate on this truck. But usually this truck is also, it's got a crew cab. So in the winter months, it's the warming truck. So if we're on a water main break, it's running. So the guys can flip in and out to get warm on those late winter nights when they're out there. So sometimes it's just running for that purpose. And other times it's running because we needed to run some of the equipment on the truck. But I know it's an option on bigger trucks, but not as part of this one. Part of what we're doing with this truck, this will be a diesel engine compared to a gas engine. Diesel engines have a longer life and
For
can
sure.
withstand that runtime. So we should get much more life out of it.
Great.
And that is the same case with the other one. We're going with a bigger engine, which is diesel, has a little more power for what we're using it for. And again, it's that run life is better with the diesel.
Yeah, I think the diesel to regular gas engines is like around triple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for longevity.
Yep.
Good.
Any other questions?
No, this makes sense to me. And I mean, like Greg said, that's a frontline vehicle, so we need that. I move to approve the purchase of one new 2027 Ford F-550 service truck from Enterprise Fleet Services in the amount of $154,469 from the motor pool fund and authorize the city manager to execute the appropriate documents on behalf of the city.
Second.
Any public comments? Abby, call the roll.
Commissioner Betney,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Fernandez.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorolla,
Yes.
Commissioner Ulrich.
Yes.
All right, and then purchase of the 2-yard dump truck.
You're also being asked to consider the purchase of one new 2-yard dump truck for the Public Works Department, specifically the Parks Division. If approved, this purchase will be made through our contract with Enterprise Fleet Management. Same setup, chassis is supplied by a dealer, dump body and associated equipment will be installed by an outfitter. This is a Ford F-450 truck chassis at a cost of $68,136. The outfitter for this is Meyer Truck Equipment. They'll install a dump body with a stainless steel dump box per our specifications at an amount of $30,725 for a total purchase price of $98,861. This will replace a similar 2011 F-350 that has 42,600 miles that will be auctioned after the new truck is delivered. The engine hours on this vehicle are just over 5,000 hours, pushing the equivalent runtime closer to 140,000 miles. The actual mileage is pretty low, but the condition of the truck is quite poor. Chassis has some significant rusting due to its use in the winter months as a salt truck. So unlike the other truck, this is not necessarily a frontline truck, but it's a critical truck. We put a salt box in it in the winter months. It's the one you'll see running through parking lots and alleys because it's smaller, doing the salting there. Runs through City Hall's parking lot. Most of you probably see it sitting out on Main Street when we're doing median maintenance. We throw all the weeds and the deadheading from the geraniums in there. We're hauling mulch and it sits out there. So you're driving by it all the time. You probably just don't realize what you're looking at. So it is a critical piece to our maintenance operations. This purchase is included in the motor pool budget of $97,000. Price difference, much like the other one, is the difference between a Chevy and a Ford and 26 model year and 27 model year. Enterprise did try to account for that in our budget numbers, but obviously things were a little bit more volatile and a little bit higher than anticipated. So bringing it forward, because again, the expected lead time is approximately 6 months for the delivery of the vehicle.
Okay. Any questions? Nothing.
I move to approve the purchase of one new 2027 Ford F-450 2-yard dump truck from the Enterprise Fleet Service in the amount of $98,861 from the motor pool fund and authorize the city manager to execute the appropriate documents on behalf of the city.
Second.
Any public comment? Abby, call the roll.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Fernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Sorolla,
Yes.
Commissioner Ulrich,
Yes.
Commissioner Betney.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Okay, last item under new business is the Arboretum Seawall Urgent Repair Request.
Okay, Emily's bringing up a PowerPoint. I'll go ahead and get started while she's doing that. So we're requesting to hire B&Z Company to fix a sinkhole that appeared next to the seawall in the Arboretum Park. The location of the sinkhole is next to the the old State Street Bridge abutment. And it's just north and west of the Lakeview High Rise and across the river from the Wholesome Concrete Plant. A week ago Friday, the Public Works crews brought in, I'll tell you, the slides are in here, so I'll just walk through the slides. I did add one at the end, I'll tell you that too. But anyway, so a week ago Friday, the Parks crew brought it to our attention. It formed pretty rapidly. They saw a small depression and like the next day they came back and it was a big hole. So they were pretty alarmed. So we went out there right away. We quickly assessed it and determined it wasn't within the scope of what Public Works crews could do. We routinely, if I can talk, work with B&Z Company on these kinds of repairs. They're kind of the MacGyver of contractors. I mean that in a very complimentary way because they think outside the box. So I'm going to flip this. Oh, can you go back? Just why don't you go back to location so people can see where it's at. That's the location from an aerial view, and go ahead and flip to the next one. So what you're seeing here is a river view from Google Earth. It's a steel sheet wall to the left of where the sinkhole is. The yellow circle is a sinkhole approximately. And then to the right of that, it's a concrete wall. There's a reason for that. The Edgewater lift station north of the city, the old force main came up through here. You can't drive steel sheeting through a pipe. So they had to do a special detail where they put H-piles in and slide concrete panels in and that sort of thing. There's also a hole you'll see in that picture. That's a stormwater outfall. And we do think that's contributing to it because that's starting to fail at its connection with the seawall. I'm ready for the next slide, Emily. Okay, and I just wanted to show you what pictures of the sinkhole look like. I have been monitoring that every day. I did notice on Sunday that a little bit more had slid in, nothing alarming. But I did text Charlie Binger at B&Z and said, hey, if you can start Monday, that's fine, or Tuesday. So they mobilized equipment and they plan on starting on the work tomorrow. The area has been coned off since we discovered this to keep the public out of there. And one of the things I want to notice, you see the big gap under the concrete walkway there, concrete, unless it has steel in it, does not do well when there's a hole under it. It is strong in compression, which means you need supporting soil or something, a base underneath it. It can collapse. And if that collapses, obviously there's more cost there, but it could damage the wall. Now things just start escalating. Okay, the next slide. And these are shots just looking underneath that concrete deck. So the one to the left, that's actually a pipe running through there. That's the storm pipe with some dirt on it. And then the one to the right is kind of towards the bridge abutment. In the upper right there, you can see some light there, kind of a rectangular shape. What is happening is the bridge, it's an observation platform, but there's scuppers, there's holes where the stormwater runoff runs up and it runs right down the face of that and behind the steel sheeting, and it's eroding that as well. And we think that's turning up things and carrying away soil. So that is in the repair plan. Next slide. And these are shots taken with either a GoPro or Zoom camera, a combination of both. We use all of our tools in the toolbox when we're trying to figure this stuff out. So the bigger pipe, that's the stormwater pipe. You can see the corrugated metal is obviously corroding and in bad shape. There are two what we call pick holes. They're used during construction. They put steel pins in them on a chain and then they can drop them in. I'm sure they were grouted when they finished it, but apparently the grout has failed. So that's another source. We watch the water go in and out and in and out, and actually plumes, a little bit of plume of soil come out with it. So there's three different sources that we think are causing the erosion to the sinkhole. We will grout the holes, we will replace the pipe, we'll grout around the pipe, and then probably the biggest thing we're going to be doing is laying down geotextile fabric. We'll put stone in that geotextile. You kind of wrap it, so think a burrito concept, except it's filled with stone. And so that's what we're going to do, because the geotextile will keep the soil from migrating through and eroding, at least at this location and hopefully the surrounding locations. B&Z's quote, or I should say their proposals, for $32,860. And we're asking for approval of that this evening.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions?
Tim answered all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And we're fortunate to have a good partner like P&Z that's available for us for these types of things. And to your point, they do think out of the box. They do think about doing it as efficiently as possible. They've shown that and proven it time and time again. So we're fortunate that they're available and get to it right away.
Yep. Thank you for 23 years to help me out.
What does the monitoring look like moving forward to make sure that this space is going to remain intact?
I think we're probably going to have some projects in the capital improvement plan for this, because we discovered that when we looked to the west, there was about a void like that underneath the sidewalk as far as we could see. As near as I could tell, there was a combination of this sinkhole being available for soils. Let me back up. Back around 2017, 18, 19, the lake levels were very high. This is the level of the river here is established by lake level. So when we have storms and the setup, those waves will roll right down there. There's a concrete cap below the concrete deck that's got a gap in it. I think water was getting in there and it was washing that soil down. finding a place to wash it out. Long story short, I think we're gonna have to assess that. I've been thinking about ways we can put in flowable fill, but anyway, I don't think we're gonna have an issue here, but there's other issues out there because of the age of the infrastructure. I had some supplemental slides. There's a picture of the cover slide or the title sheet for the drawings. This was built in 1967. It was done, part of the reason I put it in there, it is owned by the city. Of course, I checked with the Army Corps of Engineers and they said it's not ours, and that proved it. But by any means, something this old is going to need maintenance. We do have 2 stormwater outfalls on the east side of the abutment, and those definitely are going to need to be assessed. So we're going to be out there some in the next year, coming up with a plan on how to maintain all of this.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Nope.
All right, what is the pleasure of the commission?
I move to approve proposal 6463 from B and Z Company for $32,860 to repair the sinkhole along the Arboretum seawall and amend the budget, allocating $35,000 to Department 204-904.002-974, and also authorize City Manager Hackworth to sign the proposal.
Support.
Any public comment? Okay, Abby, call the roll.
Commissioner Fernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Sorolla,
Yes.
Commissioner Ulrey,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes. Thank you, Tim. Thanks for all the work that you and your team did on this project. I know it was pretty urgent. A lot of hours went into it. I believe we just have a couple of reports. First one is open house for M63 I-94 Business Loop Rebuilding Project. Is that you?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
me. So just an update to make sure that everyone knows, and we've got a packed house tonight, so clearly getting the word out. MDOT will be hosting their 5th open house for the M63 I-94 Business Loop Rebuilding Project. That will be coming up on Wednesday, June 17th from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. It will not be here at City Hall. It will be held at the Maud Preston Polensky Memorial Library, located at 500 Market Street. Thank you, Paula, for making space for us. So during that meeting, MDOT will share updates on the project. We are coming really close to the very end of design and want to make sure that folks who are interested are seeing where this is headed.
17. Thank you. Okay, and next announcement is open house for the Upton Drive non-motorized path selection.
I will give that update as well. This is Tim's good work. The engineering department will be holding the 2nd open house on the Upton Drive non-motorized path selection. That will be June 23rd from 6 to 7 p.m. That one will be held here at City Hall. There is a theme, which is that our elevator is going out of service tomorrow for 3 weeks. You might remember approving our elevator repairs. So that will actually be in the lobby, right in the entryway rather than up here. So that's coming up on the 23rd.
Thank you. All right, moving on to city manager comments.
I actually was going to recognize the Inn at Harbor Shores tonight. I had the pleasure of going to the ribbon cutting for the planks remodeling, which looks absolutely beautiful. And they've been a wonderful partner. And Karen, I'll absolutely work with them on their sign. And by I mean we, the team. I'm looking at Greg and Lori. So we'll get on top of that. Thank you. But kudos to them for their great work. And I don't know if I've mentioned what a fabulous team I have, but what a team. That's all I
Great,
got.
thank you. And on to commission comments.
I just have to once again congratulate the St. Joe High School girls flag football team for their undefeated championship season yesterday, concluded with a tournament at Ford Field, back-to-back champs. So
Cool. Congrats to them. Any other comments? All right, the only thing I have is this Saturday at 1 o'clock is the Juneteenth parade downtown Benton Harbor. I will have a little hack float in it. Thank you, Thaddeus. So come on down, it should be a good time. And with that, we conclude our meeting at 6:34 p.m.